Let's start, Ian. Okay. Thank you, Anne. I'm going to start. Thank you. All right, let's do this. Good evening, you guys. I am Lindsay Cavett. I'm the co-founder and director of Expressing Motherhood, and welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. I know that a lot of you are from different cities, so I'd love to know where you're from. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, write your city's name and let us know where you're from. I am a Los Angeles mother myself. I have 3 children, and I'm really happy to be here right now. I'm also a little nervous. This is my first time ever doing an online show. It's my first time being in a pandemic, so whatever. Let's do this. But this is an experiment. Expressing Motherhood has showcased stories about motherhood for 12 years now. It's our 12-year anniversary in, this year. And one of the things that I always tell people right before the show is to please silence their phones. But tonight, that's different. You can keep your phones on and you can take photos. You can hashtag us. Our hashtag is ExMoShow. And we're on, we're on Instagram. We're Expressing Motherhood. We're on Facebook. Anything helps to let people know about Expressing Motherhood. We're definitely grassroots as always. We chose to partner with Frontline Foods tonight, and they bring meals to our healthcare workers who we're so grateful for during this extremely stressful time. And then the money benefits the restaurants and all of the people who work at the restaurants. So thank you all so much for your donations. I know it wasn't easy donating to them and then sending me an email. This cast you're about to watch consists of people from a few different states, and all of their bios are up on the Expressing Motherhood Instagram page. So you can find out more about them there. Support their projects. We have, somebody runs a nonprofit here. Someone has an EP coming out in June. So definitely dive into what these women and men have going on. A huge thank you to my friend, Ann Litt. It was our DJ. She's incredible, and she's KCRW's, this huge radio station here in Los Angeles, very first female director. So it's pretty cool that we got Ann to play us some tunes. So thanks, Ann. This show's gonna run about an hour and 10 minutes. There's no intermission, but I can't see you, so you can go to the bathroom. I can't hear you, so do your thing. It's okay. Please listen to Expressing Motherhood on our podcast. And, happy Mother's Day. I'm sending everybody really good vibes, as we like to say out here in Los Angeles. And I'm just filled with so much gratitude for all of these performers. We're all under such stress. It's enough just to get from coffee to lunch, right? And so to write and share is a lot. So thank you, and thank you to all of our audience members. So let's do this. Kicking off Expressing Motherhood's very first online show is Isla Collins, a creative kid from Minneapolis who likes poking fun at her family of 6 and defining what it means to be a middle child. And I'm gonna find you, Isla. Hold on, wait for me. All right, let's see. You guys are just gonna, here you are, I see you. All right. Take it away, Isla.
Dear quarantine moms. Hi, Isla speaking here. Mom is a word we've used since we were teeny tiny babies, but quarantine is a big new word for me, and it's taking over a lot of people's lives. In summary, both words mean a whole lot, not just by their definitions, but also because of the feelings that go with them. Boy, my mom and I have both had a lot of strange feelings during the quarantine. Also, I think a lot of kids didn't even know their moms and dads have feelings until now. Well, maybe they did, but we are expressing them a lot. My parents sure are. Yes, my mom is pretty on top of it and makes this time at home fun, but we all have our moments, and some of them have not been the best. She's not the only one with some saltiness right now. I am salty too. Yesterday, my brother Joey ate my special dessert that I made, and holy cow, did that get me mad. Siblings. Ugh, am I right? Especially younger ones. They're just trouble. Back to my mom. This is a funny story about last week during the quarantine. I hate the Q word. It's making everyone insane. My mom was on, let's just say, more of the grumpy side that afternoon. We have a lot of kids here. There are 4 of us. I mean, my parents must really love each other. We were all being crazy, and she was just fed up, so she decided to tell us she was moving in with my grandparents, which you're not supposed to do. She actually packed a bag, and my dad drove her there. They were gone for like 10 minutes, and clearly I was the only person in the house who knew they were joking. So I waited outside, knowing they would come back with my mom in the car. You guessed it. I was right. She was trying to make a point. Hey, Mom, thanks for coming back. Since we're a big family, including a dog and a cat, not to mention my cat got stuck in a tree the other day, we are together all the time, which means no space or privacy whatsoever. And to make matters worse, we have, wait for it, a teenager in the house. I know, right? I'm just the innocent middle child who wants peace around here. It hasn't all been bad. Everyone is hanging in there. My mom has also been doing a lot of stuff she wouldn't normally do. She's been baking really yummy breakfasts, such as chocolate chip scones and Dutch babies, which are pancakes and French toast mixed together. She has been writing with me, doing school, cooking, and watching shows with us, like Gilmore Girls. I would be so bored without her ideas. We're all trying really hard, especially moms. You know, I might even miss some things about the quarantine. That Q word, again. I will miss all the baking. We have been baking so much, these abs are never coming back. And yesterday, my siblings and I had a lot of fun together. We put on our swimsuits and went dancing in the rain. It was so funny. My older sister was still sleeping, of course. I mean, we're all sleeping a lot more. I baked 9 things so far by myself. I've been hammocking, biking, and playing tennis. But I miss my friends, and it's hard to stay 6 feet apart. It's really hard. Okay, fine, we're more like 5. I just want to hug everybody. For all of you in the quarantine, even if you can't give all the people you want to hug today, I have an idea. You can give one to your mom. She might need it.
Yay! Okay, thank you, Isla. Isla's incredible. All right, so next up we have Megan Dolan. Megan lives in Long Beach, California, and has a successful solo show called Lemur Mom, because we can't all be tiger moms. And it's one mother's adventure in autism, and it's a special needs comedy that's streaming right now, lemurmom.com. But again, you can go to Expressing Motherhood's Instagram and find Megan's link when you do that. Okay, Megan, I'm gonna come find you. Okay, Megan.
Hadley, where is your Invisalign? My 8-year-old daughter shrugs. It's in the case. Well, that's good. At least it's not wedged somewhere, naked and afraid, see-through plastic molds of my daughter's teeth just crammed in between the seats of the car or couch cushions. It is safely tucked inside the groovy purple case with her name and address neatly printed on the front. When she first got the Invisalign a few months ago, she would wear the trays at night, then take them out to eat breakfast, put them back in to go to school, then take them out for snack time, then back in, out, in, out. There was a rhythm, a structure. But now, she's home all the time and demanding snacks all the time. And the Invisalign is invisible in a whole new way. We need to find it. I say this with authority, or at least what I think authority sounds like. At this point, I have lost all authority, and we both know it. It's a few weeks into the COVID-19 lockdown, and I have regressed into a former version of myself. I'm volatile, moody, depressed. And I have spent my entire adulthood integrating these shadow qualities into a somewhat healthy and functional person, but weeks of homeschool, plus now providing all food and necessities for my aging parents, as well as the complete annihilation of any shred of my autonomy, has sent me into an emotional development wormhole. And I have been spit back out as moody 19-year-old me who only wants to eat, sleep, and binge watch Netflix. For the record, there was no Netflix when I was 19. The only way to binge watch anything was you had to get off the couch and drive to Blockbuster. And then if you had the platinum membership, you could rent up to 5 videos. It was a different time. But I am the mom. And if I check out, nothing gets done. I am laying on the floor of my daughter's room. We are taking a break from distance learning. It's been a rough morning. And we are attempting to play a new board game that my son got for Christmas called Super Secret Stealthy Spies. Mommy, how do you play? Well, it says the youngest player goes first. And already we have a problem. Why does she get to go first? That's not fair, my 10-year-old chimes in. I lay blame on the game manufacturer. It says right here in the rules, Tyler. My son, stringent rule follower, grabs the printed rule sheet, reads, sighs, then hands his sister the die. She rolls. 6, 1, 2, 3. Can we go diagonal? No, he yells. The objective is becoming clear. The game is moving forward. After my turn, I sense a small window. I'll be right back. I slip out to the kitchen for some breakfast chocolate. That's right. Just a square or 6 of Trader Joe's Chocolate Lovers 85% dark chocolate bar. We ran out yesterday. There is no popping out to buy a bar of breakfast chocolate right now, not when I have to suit up, wait in line, don my mask, making sure to smile with my eyes to prove that the virus hasn't won. I settle for a pink grapefruit. Sad substitute for breakfast chocolate, but sacrifices must be made. Then I hear a loud thud and muffled crying. I race back to my daughter's room, balancing the grapefruit on a small plate. What happened? Tyler got mad because I won and he pushed the gymnastics mat on top of the game and crushed it. She did not win. My son's disembodied voice bellows from inside the closet. In my estimation, it will take at least 45 minutes to get everybody calmed down and back to work. I wade into the carnage, taking a seat on the floor. I dig in to the grapefruit and put a chunk in my mouth, just tasting its sweetness. I feel the clenched feeling in my chest and I breathe, trying to stay in my body instead of rushing to blame myself, the kids, my husband, who is safely cocooned in the home office not 6 feet away, blissfully carrying on with his workday with other rational adults. As I go in for my second wedge, I notice a small flash of purple under my daughter's bed. I lean, reach, and pull out the Invisalign case. I shake, and the light rattle confirms that the trays are indeed inside. It's a small victory, but I'll take it. Thanks.
Thank you, Megan. All right, next up we have Mike McCall. He's an actor and a dad, and he's found musical inspiration in quarantine. Let me find you, Mike. Here we go. Okay, Mike, 1 second, let me unmute you. Okay. Oh, Mike, you muted yourself. Hold on, okay. Hold on. Mike, can you unmute yourself? For some reason, I can't unmute you.
Am I there now?
You got it. Go for it.
Awesome, thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I closed the door and locked it, thought I'd have a heart attack. Figured I was bound to lose my mind. We're going into lockdown, said the state of California. Where'd I leave that box of wine? Looked over at my baby. She said, we'll all go crazy, stuck in here together all the time. I said, I know you ain't fooling, 'cause the kids will get their schooling right where we do dinner time. Living on COVID time. Living on COVID time. I know that we'll get through it. Like Nike says, just do it. Living on COVID time. So here we are in Hollywood, hoping that our friends are good, wondering if my mama does FaceTime. Gonna need more toilet paper, 'cause them paper towels won't do it. About as rough as poker night online. Well, then I got to thinking, man, I'm really stinking. Guess I'll take a bath this time. I got no business leaving, and despite my constant breathing, this is life on COVID time. Living on COVID time, yeehaw. Living on COVID time. Well, I know that we'll get through it. Like Nike said, just do it. Living on COVID time. Living on COVID time, everybody now. Living on COVID time. Well, I know that we'll get through it. Like Nike said, just do it. Living on COVID time.
Thank you, Mike. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mike, can you mute yourself? For some reason, I can't control you.
Out of control. You're not the first.
Thank you so much. All right. So next up, we have T. Lopez. Oh, nope. We have Rachel Carrillo. And she's a mother, lover, a photographer. She's captured gorgeous images of Expressing Motherhood's live shows. And she's a student of life. So let's find you, Rachel. And this is her first time sharing with Expressing Motherhood. So I'm happy to have you. Okay.
On February 22nd, I decided I wanted to quit drinking. And then I got drunk 3 weeks later. Note to self, don't go to a bar and celebrate a friend's birthday when you're trying to kick the alcohol habit. Anyway, my kids were with their aunt for the weekend that day. And I woke up the following morning with the absolute worst hangover that I've had since my early 20s. I'm talking head in the toilet kind of hangover. Thankfully, like I said, I didn't have the kids that morning, so I was able to veg out and barf when needed. But it was at that point that I realized, how many other times have I woken up feeling the same way, but with the kids at home needing me? I started to think of all the times I've robbed them of me because I woke up feeling like shit from partying hard the night before. So I decided then to stop drinking again. When news of COVID started to circulate, I couldn't think much of it. I had my own shit to worry about. Life as a single mom to my 4 and 6-year-olds, my business, my classes, and a relationship that was hanging on by a thread. But then LAUSD suspended classes, my university suspended classes, and my daughter's daycare completely shut down. What the fuck? How in the hell am I supposed to distract myself from all these feelings that I have and I so desperately try to avoid by drinking? If it's not being busy with the hectic schedule, then it's alcohol that I go to suppress those feelings. And these feelings that I sit with are ugly, past traumatic experiences that I've encountered throughout my life that I try so hard to forget by being so busy or by being so drunk. So, shit. Now we're here, home every single day, sober, and with the companionship of my kids. I struggle with depression and anxiety. I always have, especially as a child and especially when I was given the role of a mother, but not just any mother, a single mother. I noticed that my escape was to drink. A few years ago, I was in complete isolation other than my family. I had 0 friends, and my best friends disappeared during one of the most difficult times of my adulthood. And I found that my outlet was going on dates and getting drunk. I had this anxiety of needing to do the absolute most those nights because who knew when I would have another night out kid-free again, and because I deserved it. By the way, getting a night out was not that hard to do with the village of help that I have from my family. But my mind was going there because I needed justification. So now we're here doing bi-weekly therapy visits, which are now done on the phone due to the pandemic. My kids aging, my academic career progressing, my business growing, and I'm surviving it all. Motherhood, COVID-19, my mental health, and sobriety. I found a sense of peace during these times. I couldn't hide from the feelings and experiences that have shaped me into who I am any longer. So I sat with them, I journaled them, cried about them, but most importantly, I feel like I've released some of them. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the year if I would be doing this, giving up alcohol and digging deep within in quarantine, I'd say hell to the no. But here I am, 55 days alcohol free and a sense of somewhat clarity. Thank you.
Yay, Rachel. Everyone's clapping for you. I don't know if you guys can read the comments here, but people are just saying, I mean, look at all the comments. Just saying how inspiring you are, Rachel. Mike, Aunt Mary Jane loves your song. She commented that. So anyway, thank you, Rachel, so much for sharing that. Okay, next up, we have T. Lopez. T is a wife and a mom of 2, and she's been in the entertainment industry for over 20 years. T, I'm gonna find you. There you are. Okay.
During this time of quarantine and social distancing, one of my needs as a mama and as a human has been to constantly remind myself that there is no distance in the spirit. And I don't mean that in the rainbows and butterflies kind of way to make us all just feel better. I mean, we are made of body, soul, and spirit. And in the spirit realm, there is no distance. It's why we might have a dream about our mom or our sister and find out the next day that they actually were going through something or that they were thinking about us too. So during this time, I've definitely had to rely on the unseen parts of my heart. But how do we do that? How do we use the unseen or the spiritual to affect our physical and mental reality? In our house, that's always been done with music. In my house, we've always done that with music to help raise our spirits until we literally feel better physically. And that's what I'm sharing today. And if you're a parent whose kid is as Disney obsessed as mine are, feel free to sing along, dance along, whatever you want. Say that I'm crazy or call me a fool. But last night it seemed that I dreamed about you. When I opened my mouth, what came out was a song, and you knew every word, and we all sang along. to a melody played on the strings of our souls, and a rhythm that rattled us down to the bone. Our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud corazón, our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud corazón. Ay, mi familia, oiga mi gente, canten al coro, let it be known. Our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud corazón. Ay, mi familia, oiga mi gente, canten al coro, let it be known. Our love for each other will live on forever. In every beat of my proud corazón. Feliz Día de las Madres, everyone.
Thank you, T. That was so beautiful. Yay. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. Here we go. Next up, we have Brooke Fossil, and she is a South Dakota mom raising 7 kids along with her husband, Nate. Brooke is a wellness coach and a private yoga teacher. I'm going to get you, Brooke. Here we go. Okay. Okay, Brooke.
I'm Raina's mom. The first time I spoke those words was at the nursery on the labor and delivery floor when requesting that my perfect, beautiful newborn join me in my hospital room. I was 21 years old. And ever since that moment, I wore Raina's mom as my identity. Everything I did revolved around her. I chose my college major, psychology, to try to understand how best to not mess up her life. I chose my career moves and eventually stepped away from my career because my most important role in my life was Raina's mom. Now, don't start thinking that it was sweet. I was a judgmental jerk of a mom. My child was adorable, polite, and very smart in the gifted program. She was working 3 grade levels ahead in math. I thought I was a great mom. My identity became, I'm Raina's mom. She's gifted. And honestly, I couldn't figure out why the rest of the world's moms couldn't get it together. I had orchestrated a perfectly tight ship and was very pleased with myself. And then when she was perfectly, beautifully, and giftedly 12 years old, with no warning, our ship began to sink. Raina was diagnosed with Friedreich's ataxia, a rare genetic degenerative disorder. We were told that it would take her ability to walk and control her arms and fingers, to swallow, to see, to hear, and it would envelop her overwhelmed body with intense fatigue. The only part of her untouched by Friedreich's ataxia would be her mind. It was unimaginable, it was undeserved, and it was unacceptable. Gifted classes were hard to keep up with when fatigue rules your life and your hands can't manipulate the keyboard and you start to drop test tubes and the rest of the world no longer fits. My identity of I'm Raina's mom became I'm Raina's mom. She's sick with Friedreich's ataxia. She's fading right in front of me. And watch out. Either I was drowning in the sadness of it, or running from the reality of it, or furious that she couldn't have a normal life, or rushing to show her every corner of the world. My heart breaking when the airline attendants escorted her to pre-board without having to explain a thing. It was obvious that she couldn't walk anymore. And it became a time of quarantine for me, I felt alone. As the disease progressed, she got a wheelchair and she became more and more tired. We watched the kids her age excel in sports and school, attend homecoming and football games, start to drive, go on dates, get to be cool. We waited. I often waited for her to simply wake up or need a ride or finish the 20-minute task of tying her shoes independently. Our quarantine was lonely as the world passed us by, but stillness is a great teacher. I no longer was a competitive jerk of a mom. And the accomplishments of other kids didn't mean much to me either. Although when she wasn't able to graduate high school, we were heartbroken. We wondered if our quarantine would last forever. She's 19 now, and because of an impressive ACT score, she was accepted to the honors program at a highly respected liberal arts college. She's excelling at school, a classics major, and she's becoming her own advocate. I am learning to take off the identity of I'm Raina's mom, she's sick with Friedreich's ataxia, to I'm Brooke, a woman transformed by motherhood and heartbreak and stillness and acceptance. And our quarantine is lifting.
Thank you, Brooke. All right. I love the comments. I hope you guys are reading the comments. Yeah, thank you, Brooke. Next up, we have Annie Stila. She's a singer-songwriter, and she was born and raised in Michigan, and she now lives in Los Angeles and is the mother of a 5-year-old girl. And Annie's EP, Joy, I don't know if you know what an EP is. I didn't, because I'm old or something. I don't know. But it's music. It's like a CD, what we used to call CDs, I guess. So it's music. But her EP is called Joy, and it's going to be released in June. So I'm going to find you, Annie. Hi, Annie. Let me make sure you're unmuted. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Yep.
When my daughter was a baby, the days were glacially slow. We would spend an hour playing with a blade of grass, long afternoons smearing paint on her fingers. And I wrote this song as a reminder to try and see that happening and to enjoy it even when it felt torturous. Now I come back to it as the mom of a 5-year-old in quarantine. The time is moving slowly again, and there is beauty in that. I'm not suggesting that I'm fully enjoying quarantine. There is so much suffering outside my door, and my kid still drives me crazy. The other night, I surreptitiously Googled excessive talking in 5-year-old and awaited a diagnosis. No one can actually talk this much, right? But there's a sprinkler out back that she loves to run through. And there are her skinny legs as they stick out of her swimsuit and her squeaky yell when the water hits her. There is joy, which is different from happiness. And that's what this song is about. Someday you want to stay out with the cool boys, but for now you're mine, playing with your toys in the bright light coming through the window in the kitchen. You're a truth I never believed in. Oh, and joy ain't like the movies. It hurts when it runs through me. Oh, and joy ain't like the movies. It hurts
hurts when it runs through me. Someday the flower won't beg you to pick it. You'll be on a plane, your own ticket. But right now we're sitting in a circle of shade and grass, watching clouds and birds fly past. Oh, and joy ain't like the movies. It hurts when it runs through me. Oh, and joy ain't like the movies. It hurts when it hurts when it runs through me. Ooh, someday you want to stay out with the cool boys. For now, you're mine, playing with your toys. Oh, and joy ain't like the movies. Oh, it ain't like the movies. No, 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 no.
Thank you, Annie. People are asking about where to buy your music. So if you can look in the comments, maybe you can let them know. All right, that was so beautiful. Whew. All right, now we have Neil Kramer. Let me get my notes. All right, Neil Kramer is a street and portrait photographer, as well as a writer who has worked on projects for Disney and HBO. He appreciates all the mothers who have been home for the last 2 months trying to homeschool their kids, and he's in quarantine with his mom and his ex-wife. Hi, Neil. Go ahead.
Hi. Happy Mother's Day, everyone.
Thank you.
Like Lindsay just said, I've been quarantined at home since March. Like every one of us, although I've had the unusual experience of being quarantined this entire time in Queens, New York, with my 86-year-old mother, Elaine, and my ex-wife, Sophia. It's a complicated story, probably too much to talk about right now. But we've all learned a lot about each other during this. The borough of Queens has been hard hit, and I've hardly really, it's almost been 2 months where we've hardly left the house. And during this time, I've kept a journal of sorts. And this is an entry from April 21st, which is day 40 of my quarantine. And since it is Mother's Day today, I dedicate this little piece to my mother. Queens, New York, April 21st. Never before in my life has food become so central to my existence. 3/4 of the conversation between me, my mother, and Sophia revolve around grocery stores, grocery lines, Instacart, delivery times, what to eat at our next meal, snacking, and how much weight we've gained. Stock tip to my friends: buy Weight Watchers now for when this is over. Most of our family fights even revolve around food, like who selfishly ate the last bag of Trader Joe's pretzels. Every night we play a card game, like Rummy or Uno, where the winner doesn't get money, but the exclusive rights for the fancy Belgian strawberry jam that we keep at the top shelf in the pantry. Last night, we received a long-awaited delivery from Amazon Fresh. More accurately, it wasn't at night, but 5 in the morning. I have no idea why they were delivering it to us at 5 in the morning, but after spending 2 weeks clicking buttons every night to get even a delivery, no one was complaining. The delivery person rang the lobby buzzer, because we live in an apartment building. We all woke up and waited by the closed front door, my mother in front, protecting us from any potential danger. We waited and waited, but we didn't hear any shuffling out in the hall or any groceries being delivered. I slid the door ajar, expecting our groceries to be right in front of the door on a welcome mat, but it was nothing. My mother suggested that they left our groceries in the lobby by the mailbox. But why would they do that? Anyway, I took the stairs downstairs to the lobby at 5 in the morning to discover there was another guy from the 6th floor of my building, another lost soul, who was perusing the delivery boxes. There was a whole pile of them from Amazon, Chewy, Walmart. He was wearing a homemade mask that matched the colors of his pajamas. And for some reason, it didn't even seem odd. We nodded to each other. He grabbed his box and ran off. I found my 3 shopping bags of perishable groceries from Amazon sitting on the floor by the mailboxes. Half of the stuff we ordered, they didn't deliver. But now I had 3 bags, and it was just too much to go up the stairs again. So for the first time in over a month, I decided it was time to enter the dreaded and dangerous elevator, or what my mother had previously nicknamed it, the death trap. So odd that the elevator was now a dangerous place. I entered the elevator and pressed the buttons with my elbow, the grocery bags at my side. When I made it to my front door, Sophia and my mother met me with relief and anticipation. We can now have Thomas's English muffins for breakfast. But first we had to go through this new ritual of spraying every single product from the supermarket with Lysol. I'm sure like tons of you have been doing this. I took each product one by one, handed it to Sophia, who sprayed each item, who handed it to my mother, who wiped each product, and then put it into the refrigerator. It was a modern day American assembly line that would make Henry Ford proud. By 6 a.m., I was so exhausted, I fell asleep on the living room couch, snuggling a package of Thomas's English muffins in my arm. When I woke up, my mother made breakfast, and we had coffee, scrambled eggs, and of course, Thomas's English muffins. They were delicious. And Mom, I know you're listening. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you. All right. Now we have my great friend, Shannon Noel, singer, writer, performer, and half of Mommy Tonk, and mom to 2 boys. Here we go.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here tonight. This is amazing. Oh, stop. This is crazy. Happy Mother's Day. Gosh, nobody in my house is cheering for me like that. This is wonderful. This is just a little song that I wrote about the times we're living in, the story that's going on in my head. It seems like that no matter what, quarantine, parenting is much like quarantine. Not parenting in quarantine. A little bit of a spinning chaos inside my head, so that's what this song is about. Quarantine, do this, do that. Wash your hands, but don't get fat. Work it out, but stay inside. If you get a little bored, go for a drive. Bench the telly, drink some tea. Stuff your face and smoke some weed. Teach your children the chores you do so that they can survive without you. I don't really think that anybody wants to live like this forever. One day soon I'll see you once again and we'll swim naked in your pool. bunch. Eat lunch for dinner and breakfast for lunch. Connect with friends on the internet. Start a new hobby, adopt a pet. Lounge about or get off your bum. Whatever will make you feel less numb. Remember your logins, your passwords too. This is your quarantine, it's up to you. I don't really think that anybody wants to live like this forever. One day soon I'll see you once again and we'll swim naked in your pool. But until then I kinda like this, so please don't kill my buzz. Now I don't want nobody feeling sick, but I don't like the way things was. But every motherfucking minute I'd like just a chance to be alone. To stare at the wall, maybe play with myself from the safety of my home. Quarantine, it's where it's at. Let's work it out on a yoga mat. Drink the vodka till it's gone. Tell a story, write a song. Wax your face and dye your hair. Do the Zoom in your underwear. Fantasize about the things you'll do when quarantine is done with you. I don't really think that anybody wants to live like this forever. One day soon I'll see you once again and we'll swim naked in your pool. In your pool. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Hello to my own mother. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shannon. Had me on pins and needles. Woo! That was so good.
Oh, do you think
the underwear?
What?
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Janelle Scales, and Janelle is a Los Angeles writer. She's a homeschooler and mother of two, and she is the co-host of Love is Just Us. It's a podcast centering around women and social justice. Hi, Janelle. I'm going to get better. There you go. Oop. Go ahead.
For the last 6 years, I have been running from my family on Mother's Day. The first time I mentioned an independent Mother's Day to my husband, he responded, "You don't want to spend Mother's Day with your own family?" How could I explain to him that every waking minute I was with my 2 and 4-year-old daughters, I was working. When I was sleeping, I was on call. Often when he was with us, my frustrations and disappointments soared because I naively assumed he would be more help than he knew how to be. That, combined with the fact that I was barely speaking to my own mother, made the day difficult for me. Our relationship was complicated, but Mother's Day was my annual reminder that every other human on the planet had a perfect mother. My Facebook timeline was flooded with the messages. "Thank you for being the world's best mother. I wouldn't want you to have done a single thing differently for me. You are the best. Hashtag, my mom is better than yours." I knew many of these messages were genuine. The sentiments behind them were the very reasons I was arduously trying to address my own triggers and traumas. As much as I hated the superfluous and even dishonest messages, I hoped my daughters would one day have kind and authentic remembrances of my parenting. Still, in my mind, I replayed my husband's question and mixed it with the kind of guilt that consumes any human that has carried or cared for a child. So I contemplated declining my best friend's offer to spend the day in Long Beach. Her husband was making New Orleans-style banana fritters for his aunt and mom. Afterwards, a double feature of downloaded Fire Stick movies. They wanted me to join. They wanted to honor the mothers in their life. They wanted to honor me as well. Mother's Day arrived, and I still hadn't made a decision. I woke up torn. Then my 2-year-old had an accident. She peed on herself standing directly in front of the toilet. I heard her call, "Mommy, mommy, I pee on myself." I was sitting next to my husband on the couch. He looked at me and said, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." But he didn't move. He continued to watch whatever show he was engrossed in, perhaps waiting for the next commercial break. After 2 eternal minutes of waiting for him to move, I made my decision to enjoy brunch. I knew he would eventually take care of it, but my annoyance at his delay and the effort to keep that annoyance from sliding out of my mouth wasn't worth making. So without a word, I got up and I put on some comfy clothes. As I was walking out the door, I said, "I'm headed to Karen's. See you later." That was my first solo Mother's Day. And for the last 6 years, I have kept up the tradition. I've gone for hikes, volunteered at Food on Foot, sent my family away for the entire day to enjoy romantic comedies, naps, and French fries in solitude. I've also cried every year because I miss my mom, even when I think I won't. But overall, the day has become sacred and beautiful. I fully anticipated another day of independence until shelter in place came, then was extended, and then extended again. This time things would be different. The only running I could do was on my narrow neighborhood streets, zigzagging back and forth to avoid the breath of others, or a drive to a scenic destination, then a quick return home. There would be some independence, but not much. There was nowhere to go. This year is not only different because the pandemic has shifted the world, but my personal life has shifted as well. The support that my husband once struggled to give, he now gives. The therapy he needed, I needed, we needed years ago, we can finally afford. I see more clearly now how mental wellness is a privilege, afforded to those with formidable health insurance and the income to support the copay. I see how my kids are not just benefiting from my will to do better, but from the money to support that choice. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be trapped in a home that's safe, a home full of healthy people, a home where I am supported. I know it's not like this for everyone, but it should be. COVID-19 has made me increasingly aware of my disadvantages. I'm Black and I have chronic respiratory disease. I know that systemic racism and underlying health conditions put me at risk. These are the reasons my neighbors and friends have been shopping for me since the shutdown. More reasons to be grateful. However, I am also more aware of my privileges: health insurance, steady income, internet, cable, a small apartment, and a shared backyard. So I'm trying to pay it forward, trying to help, share, and give more, even while stuck at home. Because I know so many people want to run from their life right now, but they too have nowhere to go.
Thank you, Janelle. That was beautiful. All right. Next up, we have Evie Peck. And Evie Peck is a writer, actor, and solo mom in Los Angeles who has been making really funny YouTube videos. You can check her out during quarantine called Things to Do at Home. Okay, Evie. There you go. Go ahead.
I can't do it anymore. Homeschool is too confusing. I'm too overwhelmed, I cry out, the pit of my stomach rivaling the nerves I had on my first date in high school. As soon as 2 o'clock hits, I say, "I'm sorry, I have to lie down." "Mom, it's okay," my 9-year-old tells me. "Just take a break." Sometimes I hear myself in him, but never like this, taking care of my frazzled nerves. I don't usually let him see me so vulnerable. I grab a box of chocolate, get in bed, put in my earbuds, and watch the most enveloping, distracting Netflix shows I can find. You know, the ones where you think, I'm so lucky that's not my life. I'd so much rather be overwhelmed by homeschool than living in a shady zoo or being chased by drug lords. After consulting many moms about my stress over 3rd grade, I let go. I'd been telling myself he couldn't do school without me, but actually he can. He just does it. And I feel better and also a little lost. About 10 years ago, I was ready to be a mom, even though I wasn't in a relationship. I spent a year trying to get pregnant, and when I finally had my baby, I felt like I'd found myself. I chose to be a solo mom because I wanted it. So often, other moms want me to talk about how hard it is to parent alone, doing all of the driving and meals and bedtimes, but it's all I know. I don't know what it would feel like to switch off consistently. It's all on me, and I welcome it. It gives me a life's purpose. It gives me a place in the world. I'm needed. As I have less to do for him now, space opens up for myself. But who am I if I'm not a full-time mom? I'm growing out my armpit hair and my leg hair like it will help me find myself. If you need me, I'm here in bed, I shout to him. I know, he shouts back, and I hear the distant ding dong of Zoom class starting as our dog runs to the door barking, fooled again. I'd like to return to doing theater someday. It's the last place I really knew myself before I became a mom. This is a song from the musical Oliver. I always wanted to play this role, but I never got the chance. As long as he needs me, I know where I must be. I'll cling on steadfastly, as long as he needs me. As long as life is long, I'll love him right or wrong. And somehow I'll be strong, as long as he needs me. If you are lonely, then you will know. When someone needs you, you love them so. I won't betray his trust, though people say I must. I've got to stay true, just as long as he needs me.
Yay. Thank you, Evie. All right. Next up, we have Stacey Burrows. She's a Los Angeles mother, and she is the other half of Shannon Noel. They have their band, Mommy Tonk.
I love that. I'm the other half of Shannon Noel. That's a great introduction. So listen, thank you. I'd like to dedicate this song tonight to all the heroes, you know, and it is true what they say that not all heroes wear capes, which is good because where are you going to find a cape these days? You know what I mean? Like all the malls are closed. But if the malls were open, you'd pretty much be limited to shopping at maybe a Halloween superstore or perhaps the septuagenarian section at a Macy's. But what I'm just saying is, like, there's more heroes than capes. So I'm going to dedicate this song tonight to all the heroes on the front line. And you know what, Hal? I'm going to dedicate it to the heroes on the back line, too, because why not? How many days in a row can I wear these pants? Yes, and how many days in a row can I binge Netflix?
not gonna lie, I'm getting pretty used to this. Eating endless chips and saving lives. Yes, and how many loaves of fresh sourdough do I need to eat to protect your whole household? Hell, I'm a fighter, I don't give up. I'll even drink 3 bottles of the good stuff. Don't call me a hero, you're far too kind. Just doing my part to save your damn life. How many days in a row can I fail my kids? 8 weeks ago I gave them the Wi-Fi code and they hid. They must still be here. I saw proof of life, a cereal bowl and a peanut butter knife. Don't call me brave, even though it's true. I'm here on the couch, my feet propped up for you. And when you leave quarantine and you're healthy, just think of me. I did nothing, and that was everything. Nobody does nothing better than me. Yeah, nothing is the least that I can do. I'll keep doing nothing for the sake of
Yay, Stacey. Thank you. All right. This has gone quickly. Last up, we have Phyllis Siegel. She's the grandmother of 4, and she's vice president of Encore.org. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Lindsay. I have loved listening alongside all of you to the beautiful, incredible voices who've come before me. Like many of them, though not Neil and not Mike and not Isla, I'm a mother too, but my children are now adults who have their own children, which makes me a grandmother as well. I can see from the chat box that there may be some other grandmothers here too, listening to us. Being deeply involved with my grandchildren has been one of my greatest joys in life. And COVID-19 totally upended how I do that. But I was determined not to let physical distancing defeat our close connection and the ways I love to help their parents. So I discovered how to do that virtually. I hope your children have grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other trusted adults in their lives to help them learn and play and to reduce the stress that you're experiencing. I hope this because I believe deeply that it takes a village to raise a child, especially in times like this when worries and stress are so overwhelming. I'd like to talk a bit with you about how I've been handling overwhelm in my life, and maybe it'll give you some good ideas. In addition to being a grandmother, I'm a widow. When my husband died after 40 years of marriage that began while I was still in college, life as I knew it ended. I joined the category of people living alone for the first time in my life. I struggled to begin a new life without my life partner. And somehow I figured it out. Now, in these difficult days, my life, like yours, has been completely upended a second time. And I'm trying to figure it out once again. This time, I believe it's a pause and not an end, but in this unhappy pause, I'm discovering the acute difference between being alone and being achingly lonely. And I'm experiencing again the stages of grief, beginning with denial, which is how I would describe myself during the early weeks of March, when I only modestly changed my routine, fully confident that normal would return soon. Glued to the news and hearing increasingly insistent warnings, I gradually became more vigilant about keeping distance from others. And then when my adult children, who were listening to the experts even more intently, insisted on physical isolation, on my physical isolation, I took it hard. While we could talk, there could be no more meals together, no more hugs. My days began to drag. When I started taking afternoon naps, I recognized I was sinking into depression. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against napping, and I've always envied people who take and are rejuvenated by them, but that's never been normal for me, and my naps seemed more like escaping than recharging. To find my way out, I had to rediscover the muscles I learned to use as a new widow 14 years ago. As I did then, I had to literally shake myself to focus on what I can do rather than on the things I can't change. I had to accept this new reality to make space for hope. I canceled a long-planned trip with my granddaughter to celebrate our signature birthdays, but with crossed fingers, rescheduled for next year. When we shifted our family's annual Seder to Zoom, I gave myself permission to feel relief that I was saved from cooking and cleaning up for such a large gathering. I paused my work planning a new community service initiative to bring older adults into supporting better futures for young children. And I'm working now to inch this idea forward so the pause doesn't turn into forever. Accept, then hope, then act. Since I can no longer be with my 4 grandchildren in real life, I'm connecting with each of them in meaningful virtual ways, discovering to my surprise that I'm actually spending more one-on-one time with them than I had before, thanks to Caribou, Words with Friends, and other digital platforms. But I worry that the virtual will become a forever substitute for connecting in real life with them and with others, and it's really not the same. This is just one of a long list of my worries, showing up in restless sleep and panicky dreams about someone I love who has just tested positive, about friends with compromised immune systems, about shrinking retirement assets. My recently adopted rescue dog, Stella, senses my anxiety, and she won't let me out of her sight. 14 years ago, I discovered new muscles for tamping down worry by focusing on the good things in life. And my muscle memory kicks in now. I'm thinking about silver linings that could emerge as we move beyond the time of Corona. Is it possible that paid family leave will finally become the new normal? Could a surge in loneliness and separation lead to creative ways to connect the generations through community service? Could Americans gain new appreciation for the importance of electing leaders who can effectively govern? These big shifts won't happen magically, but figuring out how to help them along to make the future better for future generations feels like my ticket to purpose in the days ahead. Just as finding purpose was my salvation when my husband died. The piling on of losses during this pandemic makes the problems we face more acute than ever, and for me, makes this purpose more important than ever. Thank you.
I'm gonna unmute everybody. Hopefully I have to unmute myself. Are you guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's our show. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much. This was awesome. I think it went really well, and Anne's gonna take us out with some music, and I'm gonna try to get everybody, I'll try to get the attendees, see if we can see the attendees as well.
Lindsay, thank you so much for putting this show on. You're
It was fantastic.
incredible. We are so grateful for you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you. It means so much to me. So anyway,
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. I'm gonna try to get the attendees on here. Okay, Ann, take us out. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Read the comments, you guys. The comments are great.
There were comments when I was doing.
Dylan Rose, come over here.
If you wanna move your dancing feet to the rescue, here I am. Want you to know can you understand? When you're morning, you're the rainbow.
Linz, I got it.
Want you to know I'm a rainbow too. To the rescue, here I am. Want you to know, can you understand?
I went to the beginning. What's her daughter? Heavy.
Isla, you did an amazing job. You're the youngest Expressing Motherhood person ever.
Hey, Adele. We love you, Adele.
She helped me with all the Zoom.
Put Adele in frame. Put Adele in frame. There she is, co-producer, youngest co-producer ever.
Hi, Adele.
Youngest co-producer.
Good job, Adele.
Yay, Adele.
Spence. Hi, sweetheart. I feel like he's sweating.
Oh.
There it is.
This is fun. I wish I could. I can't get the attention. I can't do that. I wanted to.
Janelle, I loved your piece.
Oh wait, show non-video participants.
Hello. Please.
We're gonna leave.
I know you guys can go. I wish they could comment. I'm gonna post this video on Facebook.
Thank you, Lindsay. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. I'll hang out.
It was so fun.
Phyllis, Evie.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much. It was really fun.
Hey, I'm grabbing you.
Shannon, we're gonna be the last to leave the party as always, right?
You are. Oh God. Okay.
I'm just where this goes. I'm sitting down.
Do it again. Do it again.
Oh no. All right.
Woo! Lindsay,
I
how
knew
old is
it.
Adele?
What?
How old is Adele?
He's 8.
I have an 8-year-old Adele too.
Oh my God, that's right, Janelle. I remember we figured that out.
We talked about it.
Yeah. Oh, I love
it, Adele.
I can't believe. Oh, when's your birthday? August 10th.
Yes, Leo.
When
I'm a Leo, but my Adele is on February.
Oh, okay. Got it. Funny. Okay, well, we'll let you guys go. We'll let Ann. Thank you so much.
Of course, I didn't really do
Thank you,
anything.
Ann.
You did. No, you did. Totally.
Can I, Janelle, I have to tell you something, is that I made all of my family go away today. That's what I wanted for Mother's Day. I want everybody to fucking get the hell out of my house.
Bye.
Yes.
Hey-o.
They had to go find stuff to do. Sorry, Adele. I forgot you.
It's Hollywood. It's fine. It's LA. These kids are used to it. It's fine.
Anyway,
Yes.
I related to that. Totally.
I'm so glad.
Janelle, a lot of people were commenting. Yeah, I think I like to have time for myself too on Mother's Day.
Yeah, I think it's necessary.
And all the Instagram posts about the moms, just like, seriously?
It's
So I feel you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I do.
Shannon, you want to see a trick?
Trick.
This is for you, Adele. Adele, come
Do y'all
back.
like my disco light?
It is so cool. I want one so bad.
So cool.
Adele,
Ann.
count
$5 on Amazon. You plug it into your phone.
I want that. I gotta get that.
1, 2, 3.
A lot of comments. She didn't watch. Sorry, she's looking at all the comments.
Oh, your lighting and you're so magical.
The mic blocks it. I was gonna do that, but then I was like, it's kind of stupid. And then
Yes, how are you? Good. It's so good to see you.
All right, ladies, thank you.
Okay, bye. Let's hang up.
I'll see y'all later.
Happy Mother's Day. Thank you to everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
I just have one more song. I just have one more song.
One more song.
Whatever. Oh, God. Okay.
All right, guys. Good
Bye,
night,
y'all.
everybody.
I'm off. It's okay.
Love you. Mean it.
Love you, Mina.
Oh yeah, girl. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, bye. I'll hang up.
Bye. Last one. Last one here.
Us. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Don't hang up yet. We got cheers. Hey, happy Mother's
Hey.
Day.
It was so good, Linz.
You're so good. Oh,
It was so good.
Anyway, it was so fun.
You did a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you. You did a great job.
Thanks. I only messed up 100 times, and I rehearsed it like 100 times, but who cares?
Are
It all
you
worked.
joking me? Just because you forgot your pants. No,
I wore these for Adele.
yeah, good.
It's the lasso of truth. Don't get wrong with that.
Okay. Bye.
Love you.
Shannon.
Bye. Bye, Adele.
Bye. Good job, co-producer.
Thanks, Linz.
Thank you. Okay.